And this series rolls on. EG taking on Cloud9. EG got off to a strong start in Game 1, dominating Cloud9. But C9 counterpunched with a 1-2 combo, making it 2-1 in their favor. And now they're just one win away from closing the door and giving old EG the boot as they eye the grand finals in a slice of this $15,000 prize pool, the Game24 Invitational, brought to you by NVIDIA. I'm EC, joined by Trout to help lend his insight and analysis. And yeah, man, it seemed like Cloud9 came out a little sluggish in Game 1. Game 2 and 3, we could talk draft, we could talk composition problems, we can talk mistakes and what have you. All of that aside, C9 has just looked sharp as a tack over the last couple of games, and those games put together, by the way, took less time than Game 1 overall.
Yeah, I know. Pretty crazy stuff, and this game, they have some very strong picks as well to start it all out with the Brewmaster and Batrider. We don't see Batrider too much, and it's, again, one of those heroes that just comes into the meta, goes out, comes in once again. And we're going to see him played most likely by Bone7 in the offlane. And then Death Prophet Shadow Shaman Arteezy gets to play Death Prophet for the third time today so far. I'm pretty sure he's just sick of that hero, but it is very strong on Dire, and he does play it very well. So,
well, the Brewmaster had a lot of success. Fata really was phenomenal on it going back a game ago, or 2 games ago, I guess. Pretty sure it was Game 2 he ran the Brew, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. And really, they just destroyed EG with it pretty much without a whole lot of opposition. And the Batrider giving them even more early team fight potential, the ability to pick heroes off. Also, obviously, nice against the Death Prophet, who usually wants to hang around the back of fights and just let her ghosts do the work. Now she has to worry about being lassoed and brought into a fight. And, of course, pursued by the Brew once he uses his split. But EG going right back to what gave them success in Game 1. Very heavy push lineup. Nature's Prophet is available. They ran these same 2 heroes, the DP and the Shadow Shaman, with Universe on Nature's Prophet in that Game 1 win.
Yeah, Furion will be good. Batrider just is such a good hero against so many different heroes that are especially popular in the meta right now, and or just popular for EG. Like Furion, I'm thinking, it's good, but if Batrider has a good start, that Furion can get ganked very easily with the extra vision from Firefly. So, gotta be careful. It definitely suits EG well. I wouldn't be surprised to see them take it, but just one thing to be concerned about. Cloud9, they have a pick here, or 3 more picks left to go. They've banned out, let's see here, they banned out Venge, actually. I never see EG run Venge, but they want, I think, to take away the option of having someone be defensively swapped out from a lasso. So Bane will be the pickup here for Cloud9.
I like the Bane pickup, especially, you know, whenever you talk about lockdown and so on. There are just sometimes when Bane makes sense and sometimes when he doesn't. He does fairly well against the Death Prophet, just being able to Fiend's Grip her in place if he is able to get into a good position and she's out of position whatsoever. You see a Rasta come out as well. He's got 2 single target disables, no AoE disables, so Bane can work there because you know you're not going to be you're not going to be outfought with a team that's predicated largely on AoE disable instead. And then you've got the, again, same thing, the Batrider lasso and so on. So in terms of just being able to lock down individual targets, Cloud9 with Bane is in great shape. Venomancer going to be the pickup from EG, and just seems like the trend with EG throughout this series is let's push a whole hell of a lot. Veno gives you push and counter push.
I really like Veno. It's one of my favorite heroes in the game right now. I think it's just so strong. The wards are so good. Provide good vision, good pushing, and then they cancel blinks. And against heroes that really rely on blinks, which is the Brew and the Bat, it's very, very effective. So I like that. I actually didn't even notice this, but in the first 2 bans, Evil Geniuses banned out Visage. I've never seen that. Well, I've seen it when I actually first started playing Dota 2, when Visage was very, very popular and first picked a lot. But other than that time, I have not seen Visage banned out in the first 2.
We see the Jakiro picked up now by Cloud9. I wonder if that's a denied pick. I mean, Jakiro works with their lineup just fine. I mean, Jakiro does whatever you want him to do. He's a phenomenal hero right now. But I feel like, I mean, we've seen teams run the core Jakiro. That's something EG could have considered. I mean, they've already got their 2 core supports, you would think, in Shadow Shaman and Venomancer. I'm just curious. You think that could be a denied pick, or do you think it just naturally synergizes that well with C9?
I think it just naturally synergizes well with them. I don't think you want to get too much in the business of picking a hero just to take it away, unless you really, really wanted that hero to begin with. So And I wouldn't put it past EG to run a core Venomancer. I think core Venomancer is actually better than support Venomancer. They could do support Venomancer, but if they do core Venomancer, they're going to need another support that's like kind of a tanky support, like Wraith King or Tide. Might be off. It's most likely going to be off lane, but we'll wait and see what the last pick is. It'll make a lot more sense.
Well, we're coming down the stretch, but yeah, Jakiro going to be excellent to deal with whatever push EG happens to have at their disposal. If he's able to get up a Yules, that's a nice answer to Death Prophet, who usually wants to go Yules on herself just to keep herself alive, but now you have a long-range disable that you can guarantee is awaiting her whenever she comes back down to the ground. The laning phase is what's curious to me. I mean, you know, if you're in Cloud9's position right now, ostensibly going by the chalk, you would think they're going to be looking to get some kind of a farming hero. The Brewmaster mid, Bad Rider off lane, Bane Jakiro as part of a defensive tri-lane seems to make the most sense. What hero do you think fits in the best here? Do you go something a little bit more mid-game oriented since you know you have to deal with a primarily mid-game oriented Evil Geniuses composition thus far? Or do you give yourself the safety belt of something like a Luna?
I wouldn't go Luna. I think Luna would die to too much AoE. Doom is actually banned out from Evil Geniuses. Actually, that's a smart ban. In fact, we haven't seen Doom a lot. But for Cloud9, last pick, I don't know. I think something with mobility that doesn't get screwed around by the Veno wards. I'm thinking instinctively Potom would be really good. It's hard when I don't have like all the heroes in front of me to look at, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of trying to pull out from thin air. But instinctively, I'm thinking Potom. It works well with the Bane setup. The leap around gets you out of possible grip from Shadow Shaman or Venomancer wards and things like that. So that would be my go-to guess, but I'm sure there's other things in that pool that I just can't see or remember.
Well, we'll wait and see.
EG agreed with you, though. They wanted to ban out the Luna.
Well, that's just a Cloud9 thing, too. Like, C9, whenever you see them draft a really aggressive, you know, and again, like, this lineup can be aggressive. It can also be very defensive. Brew obviously wants to fight early. Bad Rider wants to gank. And so they can play a 5-man game with the strength of these 4 heroes they've already shown us. They could just, 4-man around the map and try to fight that way, or they can just play a full-out gank kind of a game where you just keep someone off the map constantly. That'll slow down EG in its own right, and then just free up space for the Luna. And yeah, Cloud9 with Eternal Envy just loves his Luna, so EG very well aware of that, as they'll now dip into the reserve time. Only 20 seconds until we see who that final pick will be. But yeah, I want to see if it's going to be a hero who more is oriented towards that way of thinking, like a hero like a Luna who just farms heavy, or like Mirana would make a ton of sense, and it's actually something that didn't cross my mind until you said it, but I would actually like that pick here a lot as well.
I have a feeling it's going to be something weird. Oh well, Tinker. Okay.
There you go.
I know that Envy likes to farm the Tinker a lot in the safe lane, so yeah, I guess he doesn't get screwed that much by Venom Wars, because if you're fast with your rearm to Ghost Scepter, you can't really get hit and you can still blink away. The only catch really is Shadow Shaman blink and Tidehunter blink, so EG, I'm okay on the Tinker pick. I think it's fine. EG's last pickup, I'm assuming Veno's core. It might not be. It'll be very obvious after they pick this. They have a lot of time to think about this, but if it is core Veno, I'm thinking heroes that, like, well, now you want a hero that can catch Tinker easy too. So maybe, I don't know, I still think Wraith King would be effective. Like, get a Zai farming on the Wraith King, get an early blink if you can, and then, yeah, it's good against Bat, it's good against Brew, because they can't really initiate on a Wraith King. It's not exactly what you want to do. I don't know, they have a lot of options. Again, this is all assuming it's going to be a core Veno, which it might not be.
Looking ahead to the lane phase, options are definitely available for Cloud9. I mean, you can do duo, weird duo stuff with these lanes if you want. Jakiro again. I love Jakiro in a position, and I don't think they really can't go aggressive, but just the ability to, if someone rotates away from the lane, or you just wind up in a lopsided lane for whatever reason, you could just take a tower so quick with even just 1 point in the liquid fire, and then you free things up a little bit for the Brewmaster and the Bad Rider to begin to operate. The Tinker, the more I think about it, the more I like it a lot. I mean, you talk about burst damage, and depending on how he wants to build him out, he can either go counter push in the sense of wanting to max march of the machines early, or he can go with more of a ganking-oriented build, even if it's a hybrid, where instead of just, there's the Mirana.
So it is going to be a support Veno.
So the yeah, like you said. But anyway, just to finish the point, Envy can play this a lot of ways, adapting to what he sees out of Evil Geniuses, and just having the ability to go global and to push and counter push if EG gets a little too greedy and starts trying to 5-man a little too hardcore. And, you know, he's going to have time to get into the fights just because of the nature of Brewmaster ulti as well. You know, Brew, with his ulti, usually if you're on the other side, you just want to try to kite it out as much as you can. And in the process, that frees up time for Envy to be elsewhere doing something and then to boots of travel in. So I think there's going to be a lot of situations where Cloud9 can capitalize on EG if EG overcommits to a fight.
Yeah. I'm really wondering if EG goes aggressive here. It seems scary to me if they don't, because can they really kill Batrider top lane? I'm not so sure that they can, unless he really oversteps and is out of position. I feel like if he died, it would be his fault rather than good play, unless EG gets like an Invis rune or smokes around at a proper time. But I fear if they go safe lane with this tri-lane, that Tinker's going to get free farm. They're going to stack the jungle for Bat. He's going to get an 8-minute blink anyway, and then they're just going to have massive problems. So I almost feel like EG has to go aggressive. We'll see, though. Actually, Universe has boots, so I guess they're not. I guess they're going to go safe lane. We'll see.
Going aggressive into Jakiro is always chancy to me, no matter what.
It is scary, but I feel like giving free farm to Tinker and then letting them stack their jungle for a Bat is just a recipe for disaster. We'll see, though.
Both teams converging on the Radiant jungle. It's going to be the Tidehunter out in front. As you have to place a skill point, he's going to see everyone all at once in Universe way far forward. They just now realize how out of position he was in relation to his team. Fear is yet to put a point. And now Clap going to be skilled by Fate's out. Cannot catch Universe. There's going, oh, beautiful Gale, but not wanting to engage off of it. Little surprised. Arrow is going to be shot and hits Bone 7. Bone 7 way out front and ends up paying the price. PPD likely to die behind that and will. But losing Bone 7 in exchange for PPD, in exchange that EG will be happy to make every time, especially with the first blood bonus. And they're not done. They've got Gale back up and ready to go. There's going to be a gush onto Eternal Envy. AUI there with dual breath. Arrow connects on the Pile die, but they're a little disjointed in their decision making, as Zai was already pulling back and not wanting to overcommit. They just go ahead and send Arteezy back to lane and PPD all the way back up to top as well. So a lot of activity early on, and hell hasn't even ended. As we see AUI actually hits a dual breath from the high ground, and Fear being burned down to about half of his health, a little less than that actually. So would not shock me at all if this kind of pace continues into the laning phase a bit. A lot of aggressive potential on both sides. I'm
wondering why Highlight I didn't just instinctively level up the Nightmare and just go on the Tide. Maybe they were really scared, but Tide had boots. He's not very tanky because he doesn't have lots of levels of Kraken Shell early on. And if he did get levels in Kraken Shell level 1, like he can't really fight. He doesn't even do any damage. So I thought that was a perfect opening. If he does that, Dual Breath comes out from Jakiro, which is 30% slow at all levels. And then, of course, I thought that could have been a lot more clean.
Arrow at top. Bone 7 hit by Fear, and now caught with a Gale. He doesn't have a point in a Firefly. Sticky Napalm was the only option. He's just going to do what damage he can, knowing that he never had a chance to actually make it away. And yeah, this is off to a pretty damn good start for EG, being able to pick the Batrider off. And like, what was it you were saying? That barring some major mistake or just being caught out.
How did he get arrowed? Was it just an open arrow?
Yeah, he was standing right about here. And, well, actually a little further back, I think, like right here. And Fear shot it from this vicinity and just caught it through the trees.
Nicely played by Fear then.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, Bone 7 is up to level 2.5. Zai with a couple of stacks. But anyway, we're going to have another collapse, and that's going to be Shackles on the Bone 7 as Universe and PBD on the low ground. It doesn't matter. He's dead. Dead for the second time. Even might get Zai very close with 5 stacks of Sticky Napalm. But the rotations right now out of EG are just so on point.
I'm not really sure what Universe is doing up there, to be honest, but I guess he got a little bit of experience. He can't get anything bottom, I suppose.
Yep.
So keeping the bat down, and Fata is going to apply a little bit of pressure. I don't think they get this kill, but being a little bit of a nuisance, if anything. So they're shutting down the bat. If they can stack his jungle for him, it's not going to be the end of the world, though. I'm looking at stacks. They have 1 stack right here. And that's it, actually. They only have 1 stack. But if they continue to do that, it's still not going to be the end of the world.
Well, for the moment, Universe still looking for a home, as he looks like he wants to walk back to base. He's level 2 off of that successful gank. But I'm telling you, man, laning against a Jakiro is the most miserable thing in the world. You just get melted down so quick. You have no regen and no time flat. You can't do anything. What do you think's the appropriate reaction right now out of C9, if any?
Well, I think that C9 is okay just farming right now. I think as long as they're aware of EG's Roshan attempts, then and they're able to get something else out of it, whether it's a tower top or even most of the damage top. That's going to be the key, because EG's really going to look to do Roshan as soon as Ross is level 6 or the lanes are pushed out in their favor.
Universe being able to play a little more chest out. Doesn't have a point in the Kraken and does not have a stout shield, so he will eat a lot of damage if they decide to try to engage onto him off of a dual breath. For now, AUI, though, much more interested in just pulling the jungle and ensuring his own XP. And farm at top, Bone7, level 3.5, is being zoned fairly well out of lane, though he is doing what he can from down in the river. This will draw the ire of Zai and PPD in the meantime, though. And Pylai hanging around mid, like you said, doing his best to stack and just waiting for an opportunity to try to go on RTZ.
Very interesting stuff by Envy. He ran up and tanked a lot, but he has no health potions, so he's going to be a little bit careful. Should be fine, as he's harassed Universe enough to where he has to go back to heal, or at least stack the Ancients. But the Ancients are actually, even if he wasn't going to get a stack anyway in time, but they are blocked with a Sentry, so no stacking there. Speaking of stacking, how is Cloud9 doing for their stacks? They stacked the hard camp once again. I think it's 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's 3, I think.
3. Okay, yeah, 3 there. They missed the medium camp, and that's the only camp that's stacked.
Oh, so. Bone7 again.
Oh, boy.
Cleaned up over by the bridge, and looks like he was hit with an arrow. Got up there just in time to see Zai had shackles on him, so Bone7's had a rough series. He had a real rough time on Clockwork, real rough time now. And Phaeton maybe too far forward. No, maybe to it. He's dead. Universe. Oh, no. We actually can't get close enough. I thought he was going to anchor smash, but just a little bit out of range. And very, very close call, but Phaeton very happy to be still breathing.
Yep, he doesn't die there. It's good for him. He's almost level 6. And Bone7, yeah, he hasn't had the best series. I have to agree with you. He just needs to just not go top. Stack this once more and get some farm in the jungle, but I actually don't know if this... Okay, it should stack, actually. So...
Got it.
Yep, that'll be good for him. He desperately needs this.
Yeah, this will be a major catch-up moment for him. He does have his tranks up, so it's not as if he's accomplished nothing in all this time, but, you know, that's just the strength of a bad rider. You know, with a little bit of diligence in terms of stacking, even just one hard camp, and he's going to make a major dent on his way, not only to level 6, but towards that Blink Dagger. And it'll take him probably a pass or two to get all of this down. I don't know. They're burning down pretty quickly. Yeah, he's going to hit level 5 at least off of this. And he's going to end up gaining just about 800 gold when all said and done.
He's level 6, actually.
Yep.
My God. So, yeah, he's got... And I think it's to continue to stack the regular hard camp, and it'll be good for him. He should have a blink if they continue to do so around the 10-minute mark, so...
Phase boot's done on RTZ, moving his way down for the 6-minute rune. We'll see if it's going to be contested. The rest of the lanes are pretty damn quiet. Universe doing what he can, but... Doesn't have anything but brown boots and a TP scroll. 6-minute rune will be an illusion, bottled by our tour. And now Pylai making his way up the top, hoping he can get a little bit of levels off of this creep wave.
Yep, and checking out some last hits and whatnot. It is Tinker leading the board. So he's going to have relatively early bots, around 7 or 8 minutes or so, which is really good for him. If they can stack the Ancients, oh, they have already. Triple stack so far. So I think Cloud9 can simply just win this through farming. Oh, Envy's TPing top. This is such an Envy thing to do. He's got 200 HP, but he still wants to assist in this tower push that's coming out from EG. So what a player helping out his team.
Yeah, honestly, I think Pylai dies. So long as he avoids an arrow, it'd be fine, just soaking solo XP. And yeah, no, Envy's going to go ahead and just go do Ancients. That's the plan. Okay,
that's fine too. It's level 4 March. He can do these. He's going to stack it once more, and that'll be his bots for sure.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I mean, what was he going to do? Walk up, take some last hits, and take some XP from Pylai, who really needed it, given how diligent he's been about stacking the jungle and hanging around mid. The Brewmaster about 800 gold away from his Blink Dagger now. So his threat will be quite high. Looking ahead, he is level 7. And Universe is hurting. In terms of overall levels, we can see he's down there with the Venomancer and the Bane. He needs to get level 6 sooner rather than later. And he's banking, I don't know. I mean, at this point, he's got 900 gold, so he'll have Arc Boots up soon, but that's just going to mean his Blink Dagger's long ways off.
Yep, and there it is. 7.5-minute bots for Envy. Fantastic timing. And at this point, what I see a lot of Tinkers do that seems to be effective is if you can safely push out the off lane with marches and then leave the other lanes for the rest of your heroes to farm. Looks like he's gonna take some stacks at the moment right now in the jungle, this little spot where you can get all 3 camps. And let's check out Bat's farm. Not too far away from the blink, so Yeah, Cloud9 off to, even though it's 1-4 and Bats fell 4 kills, I still think they're doing quite well.
They've actually swung the gold lead back in their favor. If you look at just how efficient they've been with the stacking, they've got a slight gold lead. EG will be cutting down on that as they take this tower. There'll be no glyph, and with the wards down, Zai's level 6 secures that for sure. PPD is going to catch Bone 7, and Fear right there with an arrow, hung onto it as long as he could. Do they have the burst? One more auto attack will do it. That'll done. Bring him down. Fear using the ulti doesn't matter. Laser from Envy sends him packing. PPD nightmared by Pylai near the secret shop, but with the Moonlight Shadow there to cover his tracks, he's able to make it down south. Envy spots him, but no way to stun him out, so he'll make it back. Mirana traded for Jakiro, not optimal, but the Batrider also biffing it there, and that delays. Oh, he actually bought back.
I don't understand.
I didn't even notice. Oh wow, why?
I think he's just massively tilting. Like, there's no reason for him to buy back right there. And he was at 1,600 gold before he died. Now he's down to 1,000. Not a good start. TP's bottom. Maybe he can get something done here.
Ravage.
And nope, he won't get a kill there either. Wastes his TP and could have done a stack. So, yeah, this is not a good game here for Bone 7 yet again.
No, not a good series, pretty much. Like, that's shocking to me. He was, even after that death, he was still going to be close to his blink. All he had to do is be like, hey, don't worry about it. They ended up getting a return kill anyway. But they end up losing not just his death, but his buyback as well. And that actually hurts them a lot. They need this Batrider to be up and running yesterday. They don't need it 5 minutes from now. They need it now.
Yep, and the thing is, his team acquired. Oh, actually, I see a blink in mid. There's the burst split.
Arteezy caught with the rock. NV following it up. Dead for sure as he's pew-pewed down. Fear shoots an arrow that never had a chance at anything. But he's being pursued out by Bone 7. Don't you wish you had a blink dagger?
And he easily could have got it too if he just stayed in the jungle and just didn't die. But it's delayed quite a bit actually now because of that. But I mean, the other heroes on the team. Oh, action top. I see Dark Green's in trouble. Zai is dead. He drops the wards too. Not honestly. There's just been some weird play from both sides today.
I totally agree. He just fed a lot of gold with those wards for free. It's not like it's going to be hard to take them down. So 4-6. This game 4 off to a shaky start on both sides. As the dust is settling, we can see that EG did swing it back into their favor, but it's only a slight lead, 1,000 gold experience at 4K. In the meantime, they're going to build on it as Arteezy uses the ulti. Still a little while on the glyph, so no one is handy. This should be a very easy tower for them. They might try to react with something as Envy's there. Just going to give him a parting shot or two as PPD and Arteezy withdraw.
Well, they do have good objectives down for EG, and that's going to be more gold for Universe with all these towers down. And actually, he's 200 gold away from his blink. Universe, who had this really hard tri-lane to deal up against, is actually well on his way much further than Bone 7, who's had stacks in a much easier lane. Well, I can't really say it was a much easier lane, but I mean, your Batrider, it's almost any lane can be easy because it's very difficult to kill a Batrider. So. Universe, they're actually pretty close. Both their blinks he has is in 100. Same thing with Bone 7, so right on par. Except Universe also has Arc Boots to boot.
Zai about to finish his Force Staff as well, so we can see items coming out pretty much across the board. Tier 1 mid for EG under threat. God, Liquid Fire maxed out, so awful. Like, it just melts towers so quickly. And
it also reduces attack speed, so they can't hurt you as much.
Such a good ability. And the tower just outside of deny range. Well, one more auto attack would have done it. They could have denied it. They're going to go ahead and Moonlight Shadow. There's an Invis rune down here as well. There was no vision for C9 to have spotted this. They are pulling back up at top. Phaethon near the Ancients could be a target. They're moving into the jungle down at bottom. Fear has eyes on Pylai. He's pinging him out. Arrow shot. Ooh.
Oh.
Barely misses. Shot a little too far ahead. Universe is going to be there, though. Doesn't have his blink quite yet. But he does have Ravage off of cooldown. Here we go. Here comes Bat looking for a target. Universe might be prime suspect up to the top. We hear a Hex. That's going to be Phaethon, who is Hex and Ward Trap, so he's dead for sure. The arrow was actually spin on him as well. Universe ends up dead as he was caught from behind. No surprise there. He did not spin Ravage. But the ultis deployed for EG, both Exorcism and the Mass Serpent wards, mean they have to back out.
They did get the brew before he cast split. He was actually in animation, so it was really close. And I think in that sense it's worth it, but unfortunately Universe was killed before he got that blink. Now set back to 1900, and Bat finally has his blink after such a crazy game so far for him. And this will be much easier to start getting some pickoffs.
13 minutes in. How do you like both teams as the laning phase is shaped out? Who do you think has built themselves the most advantage?
It's hard to say. Like, EG's got a lot of objectives down. Like, they got a lot of towers, which is good for them, but Tinker's farming very, very fast. Panda's farming quite well. He has his blink and split. I would still say EG just because they're dire. Like, that's the only reason. They can have this Roshan whenever they want. In fact, as soon as their cooldowns are up and they get a blink on Universe, I think they just go do Roshan right away.
You can see they've also warded pretty damn aggressively, keeping an eye just outside of the tier 2 top, as well as on the... I always want to call this thing catwalk. I think
where?
Right here. Right here. I always want to call that catwalk. But anyway, aggressive wards, meaning they're going to be looking to not only get picks, but to continue to play on Cloud9's side of the map. DD will be spotted, and Envy actually blinks and takes it. Started to run away, but had to cancel as Zai was right on his heels. He's bottling up. He's going to catch him with a Hex. TP's coming in. Shackles has to get to the high ground. There we go. Got it very near max range. I hear an arrow, and just shot a little bit behind. Envy, though, worth a ravage, says Universe, and the anchor smash brings him down. In mid, this tier 1 now into deny range. Arteezy's there. He's going to go for it. Nope, he's going to be spotted as Bone7 grabs him. Fates comes in to help clean things up, so they get the tower and they get the Death Prophet, and they're not done pushing. Fatos still has his ulti. Bone7 did expend Lasso, but not the end of the world. Fiend's Grip should be at the ready for Pile Die, and it is. EG having to walk back as they TP down. Fear has Moonlight Shadow ready to go, setting up in prime arrow sniping range. Sentry down, arrow shot blindly, will split the wickets. And PPD going to come in, get down a ward. Fear caught with the Fiend's Grip, and there's going to be the split as well. Bone7 still up and alive. Nice two-man gale from PPD as we see Zai pursued and cleaned up by the Brewmaster. The rest of C9 staying very patient, and they're just going to let the Brewmaster dive. Gets Fear all the way up to his tier 3 before breaking off the pursuit, but that tier 2 drops completely unimpeded. Great rally now from C9. As they end up losing Envy, but they take 2 towers and get a key kill on Arteezy in the process.
Yeah, the key things here are that they're getting these towers down, because they actually, other than Liquid Fire, they don't really have tower pushing. So they got 2 towers down, able to get some kills, and still in the meantime, EG has not taken advantage of Roshan. And this is a team that normally just does it all the time, constantly, the second they have their big ultimates, but they haven't been able to do so. So I think C9 is definitely in the driver's seat now. Also, I gotta say, okay, botsing to Elder Titan Spirits is one thing, but I think botsing to Panda, the Panda split is kind of ridiculous. I think that's really crazy, by the way. And that's we're probably going to see more of that this game.
And here we go.
Roshan.
Yep. They got you tuned in on Mumble Man.
Yep.
And the golden calf, such as it is. I guess it's not a calf. I guess it was a little ram. But golden lamb, I suppose. But the Roshan will drop before much of anything can be accomplished by C9. This top tower will be traded away, but this is probably the single most typical trade in Dota. Dire side takes Roche, Radiant side takes Dire's safe lane tier 1, and C9 might decide to just set up station here in the jungle for a bit and try to rob EG of that bit of gold efficiency.
I wonder if EG goes to I wonder if they just want to split push and push bot. This really deep ward that the Dire has on the left side of Radiant's map spotted out TP from Jakiro. So they know that Jakiro is up there and won't have access to any other parts of the map. So they need either all 5 people to defend top, or they just need to split. And it looks like it's going to be a defense because they have the Aegis.
Universe has Ravage ready. Let's see when he wants to use it. There's the Bane caught with the Yule Scepter. Here comes Faithop. Faithop gets a clap and the split off. Ravage in the meantime caught 3, but no one followed. Finally, we're going to see Zai move in. Envy will end up dropping as Fear follows up. Bone7 lassos PPD. AUI eating auto attack damage. Oh, the ulti got off, but it didn't really catch anyone except the Jakiro, which was already going to be dead in the first place. Fear, though, caught by the Bane at distance. And, ooh, silence from Arteezy bought just enough time for him to get his wand charges off and stay alive. Zai gets the wards down. Will it be enough? Universe there with a gush. Bone7 trying to retreat. Pylai die returns to Fata. Fata comes in, gets the clap. Zai, no! The Hex is on point. Fata eating the right-click damage from the Serpent wards, and he's trying to chase down Zai. Can he get him? No! Zai survives. They kite it out. They spread him out, and nothing could be done to allow him to get on top and finish the fight. 8-11 now. EG not only defends the top tier 2, but they do so in impressive fashion. Fear and Arteezy try to come in and get a little greedy. Bone7 helped out by Eternal Envy as he tallies a kill of his own. So what was an otherwise great fight made a little less impactful by the loss of Mirana. Nonetheless, well played by EG.
I can't believe Fata couldn't get that last auto attack in.
No.
He actually has 10 more movement speed as well, and Shadow Shaman so close. I'd be really pissed off if I was him, but nice quick Hex there from Zai as soon as he got initiated on, and yeah, could have been. I mean, it was still fine from C9. They cleaned up at the end there with Tinker, who does now, by the way, have Dagon 1 and another 1,200 gold, so he's doing fantastically, but could have gone just a little bit cleaner for C9, I'm sure. And Aegis is still up on Arteezy. That's the important thing.
Yep, very good point. We can see this has been an up-and-down battle. At one point, as far into EG's favor as 3,500 gold, actually close to 4,000. Now it's actually back in favor of C9. They're still riding the high that came off of that great sequence they had in mid, taking tier 1 and tier 2 as well as killing Arteezy. They're ready to get more done, though, as they blink on the PPD. There's going to be the Venomancer Gale, however. Bone7 on point with his lasso. And the follow-up kill from Envy using that Dagon. Reminder, C9 can close this series out with a win here. EG looked like they had fought their way back in a couple of times, and that fight at top helped, but then ending up giving a little too much away afterwards. And once again, jungle control is ceded to C9, and they can just apply the stranglehold, man.
Yeah, I think that Tinker might get out of control this game. He's getting so much good farm. A lot of these heroes are just burst worthy. Like, pretty much everybody except for this Tide you can burst down. I guess DP is pretty tanky too, and he is going for the Rod of Aoi, so he's going to be actually somewhat tanky. But other than that, everyone else is a nice target for Tinker if he gets that Dagoneth blade.
EG wants to repeat the success they had at top, as C9's ready to run at the tower. Universe has Blink Mech and a Ravage ready, obviously. The ulti available for Arteezy's Death Prophet as well. Let's see how much C9 wants to commit to this. Lasso 2 seconds away. Lasso most likely how they're going to want to lead with this if they can. Bone7 spotted. He blinks away. AUI, Pylai die. Going to go ahead and hightail it. There's only 3 of them left right now. One's not going to be spotted. Bone7 can take to the skies, and the other already out in the trees. AUI doesn't have a TP. AUI doesn't have a way out. He is stuck.
He just has to stay here and hope that he actually got some of the trees cut to the left by the Firefly. So maybe he's just gonna be camping here for a little bit.
Yep. Buys himself some sentry wards. It's fine. Creepwave's gonna be pushing out past him now, so well, hopefully this is your new nest, THD. You won't get lonely. Talk to yourself. He's gonna come out, and he's gonna be spotted by the creeps. And yep, there's the Yules. There's a Macro Pyre underneath. He's got help coming from the south. And he wants to try to bait Arteezy into this, but Arteezy wisely says, you know what, there's no way he's alone. Knows help's on the way. They're going to try to pursue him. Fata's up front. And Fata actually could have caught him if he'd have just kept running towards lane as Arteezy cut south. But instead, reset and waited on Envy, so Arteezy able to dodge a bullet there.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was more of like, I gotta get out of here somehow, and I just need to throw you up in the air and act like I'm going on you so I can run away.
Mm-hmm.
But, yep, Roshan, the Aegis is still up on Arteezy for quite some time. It looks like I wonder if it'll just be a heart. Oh, Yule's actually onto the Bat Rider.
Yep, convergence here. PPD not there in time to land a Gale. Universe was sitting towards the back. He had help in the form of Pylai Die and Fata, so probably fortunate for EG. They didn't pursue that kill. Up at top, we can see AUI continuing to push this tower in. About 3/4 health left on it. Now Bone7's been caught and silenced. Universe is right behind him. Fata does not want to spin that ulti if he can help it. Might have to save Bone7. Nope, one right click, all they needed. 50 seconds, he's down, and he does not have buyback even if he wanted, so EG has their options available. This tier 2 still under pressure. Looks like they just want to trade. Moving now with 3 towards the tier 2 mid of Cloud9. Eternal Envy, as Ewan mentioned, is on the verge of breaking out. But they have the chance to split push now. They've got Fear and Zai. Zai with wards on the ready. There's a blind arrow just to scout. Zai might want to drop his wards. I don't know that he has to. Well, Envy's now here in the DPS. Look at that. Fear brought from 100 to almost nothing just that quickly. And yeah, they're not going to get anything out of this, though. They did manage to hold the tier 2 top intact, but only barely. 176 HP left on it.
Yeah, I think Envy is one of the few Tinker players that still maxes. Oh, hold that thought, as there is a Yules onto the DP. His Aegis is expired. I don't know if it got used up, but he's dead. No Aegis to use for him. Eternal Envy is ward trapped for the time being, and
he's gonna die. Yeah, he's dead. All right, Dian, as PPD is making his way up by with Universe. Zai getting a very nice kill. Ooh, very close call for purple. That was the Bane. As everyone's able to TP away. I cannot believe we're only 24 minutes into this game. This feels like a game that is much deeper in terms of its development, but truth of the matter is we're basically dead even. Gold and experience. 2K experience at 23 minutes, not really all that worth mentioning, and the gold is very, very close as well. So pretty much a dead heat. And here's Fear trying to land an arrow and finds himself amidst unwelcome drunk friends. It's like a like a college frat party, man. Show up in the wrong part of town, you wind up in a house, and wake up the next day not feeling so good. Universe gonna be caught as well, but here comes Arteezy. He's gonna go ahead and throw Bone 7 into the air. There's the flame break. They're gonna try to pursue him. He's hit from behind with a gush, and the silence keeps him on the ground, though it didn't matter. He's only 10 seconds away from a Firefly if he can make progress. DD on the low ground. Universe probably gonna get an eye on that. There's a Nightmare from the Bane to help him out. Universe blinks to try to catch up, but they are pursuing very deep here. They may want to break this off. They are getting to the point they're surrounded up atop.
DPD.
Yep. Laser down by Eternal Envy, as he was apparently trying to do things on his own, and that's going to be the death of that tier 2. So EG putting all their eggs in the Bone 7 basket and end up losing their tier 2 and a comrade over it.
I mean, you've killed him, what, 6 times this game already. Just keep doing it is what they're saying, but Owie, he had a really nicely timed Yules, and it's had a great effect this game. And as I was mentioning before, we had an engagement top. As Envy, he's chosen to max out his Dagon. He's got Dagon 5 and just well, actually he has it right now after that tower kill. So Dagon 5 for him. He's gonna be able to burst down all of these supports. He might even actually be able to burst down this Mirana if he gets both his laser and his rocket to connect.
Really liking the way C9 looks at the moment. We're all knotted up, 13 kills apiece, but now with a Shiva's done on Fatad, the item progression on the side of C9 is really just coming together so much more quickly than EG's. I mean, Fear's got a Maelstrom up, but still he is a Mirana. There's only going to be so much you can get out of that. Zai's picked up an Ogre Club. Would imagine that's going to be on his way to another Scepter. He finished the previous game with a Scepter as well. And AUI has 2,100 gold all of his own. Now he's going to be caught by Zai. Fear right there. Arrow shot. Catches him with the help of Shackles, and nice kill for them.
Yep, I think it'd be good if you got like a blink this game too, so you have a blink Yules to set something up with the ice path and whatnot. So if that's what he wanted to go for, he was relatively close, but nice counter kill there by EG. I think at this point, EG thing, which is stall out, push out lanes, and wait for Roche. I really feel like that's the smartest play here, because I think their late game is just not. I don't know, it's hard to say. It's not on par. Yeah, I don't think it's on par with Tinker Panda. I really don't.
Yep.
Not to mention when you have a Batrider that can constantly kill off your Death Prophet just with the right movement and the right vision.
Universe taking an Ancient stack. He is like the rest of his team. He's prioritizing mobility. He's actually going to be getting a Force Staff up now, delaying the refresher a bit. And hard done on Arteezy, so didn't even notice that, surprisingly. But Arteezy's pretty tanky. Pretty tanky. Only a very short amount of time till Roshan is back on the map. And say all things being equal, Roche fight, who has the advantage, EG or C9?
Well, if it's a full-out fight, I would guess C9, because they have burst with the Dagon 5 and March and Panda and Batrider and tons of chaos spells. I guess EG has some good tools of their own with the Venomancer wards and whatnot, but I think C9 is just a little bit better. But as far as just trying to get into Roche and kill it, I think EG can do it pretty fast, but they have to push out the lanes. That's why they're not going for it right now. Bottom is pushing in favor of C9. Mid is pushing in favor of C9, at least for the time being. And even top is pushing in favor of C9, so they need to get these lanes pushed out first.
Tough to do against a Tinker.
It is, yeah. That's a good point. Oh, no. Universe caught.
Can they blow him up? He thought about ravaging. I think he went into the animation, but he does end up dead. And
that's huge.
Yep, it is. Absolutely. And he just bought his Force Staff, so there's no buyback.
Right.
So they're going to go ahead and take this without a doubt, and they might decide to push for even more. We'll see. Yeah, they're not committing overly to this. Now they are. Arteezy knocked back. There's a split to follow it, and Arteezy dead skis. Ice Path.
That
played.
should not happen. Like,
nope.
Universe's death is.
What's he doing there?
Like, maybe forgivable, but Arteezy should not have been there at all.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, what? You throw a Crypt Swarm. Do you think that's going to keep that tower up?
No, he should have completely backed up or tried to split push, but.
Yep.
Or just sat at your tier 3 tower, wait for it to push up a little bit more, and see what C9 does. If they stay, you run away and wait for your team. If they leave, you go and fight. PPD's in some trouble. He's dead. This is looking pretty grim, honestly, for EG.
Yep, Zai caught in the combo. He's down. Fear is dying to march to the machines. In the meantime, Universe is back up, but there's no reason for them to back off. Even if he ravages 5 of them, there's no follow-up. Fear has to go back to the fountain and heal. And the rest of them are just playing a positional game. Down goes the tier 3. They can stay for a bit longer. The Venomancer down 8 more seconds. 30 full seconds for the Rasta. And 5 seconds until Arteezy's up. And I'm a little surprised they're not committed a little bit more to bringing this down. Now there's going to be the TP. AUI actually gets hit by the arrow. And he's probably dead because of it. And Envy doing what he can as a parting shot. The Jakiro tossed into the air, and yeah, AUI throws out one more. Yeah, that's going to bring the racks down. So AUI still alive, and now the lasso grabs Arteezy. There's a very nice ravage. Is the follow-up there? Envy doing all the damage he needs to do, and Fear caught from the high ground with a Fiend's Grip. Triple kill for the Eternal Envy's Tinker. As they played that patiently, the ravage was on point. It got at least 3, maybe 4. And yeah, now Fata hit with a Hex, being cutesy, but Fate's not happy about it.
Zai's dead, yep. Universe, this is GG.
Yep, gotta be.
And that was a really nice play by Pilot. He actually slept the THD and bought so much time for him to run away, and he still died in the end, but it gave his team so much time to get in position and save THD for way longer than he should have been alive. So nicely played by Pilot. And yeah, I don't see EG taking this much longer. I think they're honestly just demoralized at this point.
It's been a rough series for sure.
Yeah.
And C9 has really just, I mean, game 1, C9 just looked outclassed. I mean, and that's not to say permanently, like they're not on skill level or any of that nonsense. Just sometimes, you know, you play a lot of pro Dota. Sometimes you go out and you're just like, today ain't the day. We don't have it. Whatever it is that we usually have, it ain't there today. And that's kind of how it felt in game 1. I mean, the draft was better from EG. The play across the board was kind of eh. But starting with game 2, they have just been on a tear and have been tearing a new one into EG. And yeah, I can't imagine this goes on much longer, like you said. The ults are going to be off cooldown. Universe, maybe a big Ravage can help, but even that 60 seconds off. We're going to see the Mirana caught. There's an Ice Path. Comes down, and Phaeton now following it up with the Shivas. That's going to catch Universe from behind. Force Staff will get him back to the high ground. I just heard a lasso, and they managed to catch PPD. Arrow dodged, and PPD gets off the ulti before dying. Misses with the Gale, but now it's going to be Arteezy's turn. BKB used by Bone 7. Ulti, and the Yule's trying to buy some time. Phaeton coming in from behind. He does have split. Unable to blink because of PPD's ultimate, so they may have to kite this out. Pylai now being pursued. Universe. And, yep, Mirana actually does manage to get the Bad Rider. And they do manage to get the Bane as well. So, looks like EG able to hold ground at least a little bit longer.
Yeah, they're showing some vital signs. They're showing some signs of life, but Envy's still very fat. The split has not been used, and here we go. Oh no, Allison, Arteezy, you are in some trouble. He gets Force Staffed away.
Ice Path on both of them as he comes down to unfriendly territory, bursted down by Eternal Envy. Envy actually, did he get hit? It looked like he got hit by something.
Arrowed.
Yeah, he got arrowed. And Universe continuing to be tossed into the air. There's the reassembling of the Brewmaster. Envy comes down into a silence Ice Path there to try to buy him some time. Phaeton there with the Shivas. PPD ends up dead, but so does Envy. Universe has Ravage, but not the mana. They get AUI behind the fight, however. And EG is continuing to make a game of this. After that last fight, it looked like they had just completely run out of steam, but Roche is now an option for them. This game continues to roll on.
Yeah, Fear is actually playing very, very well this game. Like, constant arrows. He's knowing his limits about when he can fully go in, and when he can't, actually hold that thought. He might get lassoed right here. Bone7, I think he can easily lasso this. He's waiting quite some time.
Oh.
Fata goes on Fear for the time being. There we go.
He actually arrowed Pile Die with a downtown Leroy Brown arrow, but the follow-up not where it needed to be. There's a gem on the ground, and like you said, Fear playing well. That's a situation where he just can't predict that. So unfortunate for him, but he gets the job done.
Yep, Bat was in the right place at the right time and almost baited himself, so to speak, with an arrow that connected on Pile Die. By the way, Pile Die has a BKB, and his score is 1-1-1-1. It's kind of a fun fact.
Hey, that's a well-played Bane, man. If you can play a Bane and die one time and get one kill, you are in pretty damn good shape. 13-4. Standout performance from Eternal Envy. 10-5 for Fear, as you had mentioned. And now the Tier 3 mid. And the game on the line inside, dead. Mech not enough to prevent the rocket damage. Fata
and now he can do it again. Now he can do it again. Boy, Tinker. Fun hero, Dota 2. God, this hero.
Think Tinker is up. Hang on. Hold that thought as we're going to have an engagement behind. PPD. Yep. Pew, 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 pew. Universe. Pew, pew. Oh, almost dead.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be Rags down as EG loses 4 in the, not just that engagement, but the ensuing engagements. They're slowly bringing this Rags down. Faitha still has his split, by the way, and still has a BKB.
We're gonna do one last hurrah with the with Arteezy coming up in the Ravage. Here we go.
There's the Ravage. 2 BKBs, very quick though, out of Pile Die, and Faitha, Fear, lassoed, brought back. Jakiro also Yules, but the damage output just way too high. Arteezy scrambling for the fountain. Fear's going to be caught. They want to try to turn around and fight this, but really just not the ability to do so. Universe could not be asked for a better Ravage, but the BKB's on point. Here comes Envy. Pew pew. That's a killing spree for Eternal Envy, and...
Oh, we should have went for Arteezy instead, but Arteezy's ghosts are going to heal him. Yep.
And Envy now. Ward trapped again, and dies yet again. So all of the fireworks, the ultimates, and everything else, they get a Tier 3 and half of 2 racks. And half of 2 racks is worth about as much as half a college degree.
Yeah, they actually defended that successfully, even though their Tier 4 is getting hurt. Zai, I don't know if he canceled his grip or just something weird happened, but Bane is getting caught out right here. He should die. So it actually is a successful defense, but my God, look at the frickin' net worth. Do you see Tinkers? He's at 21K. Next highest is Arteezy at 12. Yep. For Dire, I should say.
Yep. Check out the goal graph as well. How quickly they exploded. It was in 10 minutes. Like the first 20 minutes of the game, nobody had a lead greater than 5K. Right around 25, 26 minutes in, from 26 basically to now, 36, they have exploded up to 15K net worth. So, and that's just Tinker, man. That's what happens whenever you have a Tinker that's allowed to get out of control. But EG continues to hold the line.
This is why I thought being aggressive would have been a much smarter move. Like, I don't think that you can allow Tinker to free farm when you have a Panda also to just kind of disrupt and be chaotic in fights.
LOL.
And I actually think Batrider, despite him feeding ridiculously in the offlane...
He also fat-fingered a BKB just now.
Yeah, Batrider?
Yeah, he just fat-fingered it pretty badly.
Yeah, Bone7. Crazy, crazy player. But despite him feeding his ass off in the top lane, like, Batrider wants to be in 1v2, 1v3 situations. Like, he thrives on that, and then it gives the supports in your safe lane time to stack your jungle. So, I think that C9's laning was standard and good, and I think that EG needed to aggress the Tinker pickup a little bit more, well, aggressively to be redundant.
Universe, working on a pipe, has his Hood of Defiance up. And yeah, I mean, EG, the fact they kept these 2 middle racks standing certainly means the game is still not completely out of reach. It's going to be a long road if they want to try to get this back under control, and it's going to be quite a rocky one with a very farmed Brewmaster and a very farmed Eternal Envy Tinker to cope with. But for now, so long as they don't lose any more racks, they do have a chance. They're going to Smoke. That managed to catch 2, and yeah, they're going to Moonlight Shadow, actually.
It was spotted, though. Arteezy's showing in lane, so they should know this. They have a gem, I believe, on someone? Let me click around. No, they don't, actually. So C9 has no gem.
This could go poorly, yep.
But there is a sentry right there.
Yep. And it's spotted. Now they're going to come and go in. There's going to be BKBs, but there's the feed script on Arteezy. Universe delayed in the Ravage. The split from Fata allowed to go off. Arteezy still fighting through this, but Brought down from a big blast in the back by Eternal Envy, who once again, by the way, is ward trapped. He does manage to make it out, but yeah, he's actually still alive. Want to keep an eye on Fear. Finally, PPD manages to clean him up. Not sure if that was dot damage or what, but they do lose Envy. And Fate's Eye helping clean up the back of it. Envy's bot back. It is right back in the fight. Very quickly, they're going to take Roshan as Pylai Die TP's out. Are they going to take Roshan? No, they may just rush mid.
Yeah, I mean, all the big spells are down. Even with Arteezy buying back, he doesn't have Exorcism for 80. Also, speaking of Arteezy, I think he 100% should have gone for BKB over Heart. Like, 100%. And you can see him in the start of making this one, but it's just way too late at this point. I don't think the Heart actually really does anything for him. Like, it gives him HP, but he's going to get bursted down. If he gets caught, I'm pretty sure he's going to get bursted down anyway. So he just needs to, like, have immunity from spells and stuns and all that jazz, and that's what BKB provides. But yeah, I really think he needed a BKB over this Heart.
EG, at the end of the day, did lose one of their racks. It was the ranged mid, so they're at half strength so far as barracks go. And one more big push from C9 could be enough to close it out, especially if they're able to kill Universe. He actually missed with the clappy Krakens, and now Mech's out. Shiva slows him down from behind. Ravage at 60-second cooldown, so even if he wanted it, would not have it. But buyback, the only one buyback on the whole map, and that's actually AUI.
Yeah, AUI, again, he has that Blink Dagger, which is, I think, fantastic. Works, and he's used it a number of times. It sets up with the Yules, which sets up with the Ice Path. It's a really great combination. And I have to give so much credit to this series to Envy. Like, I think he's played just so well, so solidly. Probably the fewest mistakes out of everyone in this game, or in these on these teams. And very impressive performance, and his stats don't lie. Even in the game where he lost with Razor, his stats were still good. He was 4-2-4, I believe, but the last two deaths were just like...
He was 4-0 before the game really got out of control.
Yeah, his last two deaths were just like... In fact, he died once, and then he bought back and bought a Mask of Madness just because he wanted to buy something as a last hurrah. It was kind of funny. But, yeah, he's been playing very, very, very well today.
EG down to their final gasps as they are not likely to see the other side of the map for some time. C9 has locked and reloaded as all their ultimates are on the call. And they're just going to charge down mid. Roshan remains an option. They check it very quickly. PPD's ward checks them out as well, so they know they're coming. Fear, I mean, Fear has played well this game. 10-7, obviously. I mean, some of those kills could have been avoided, but it's just Mirana is a hero. She's trying to get up on Lincoln's now. And, you know, the Maelstrom, etc. Her damage, follow-up, even off of good arrows, has just been lackluster. She's, until the Lincolns or a BKB comes out, she's very easy to kill. Speaking of kills, Universe mechs through all of that damage, and Moonlight Shadows deployed by EG to make sure he stays alive. They know they stand no chance of trying to defend here if Universe is not involved. He's nowhere near buyback, and in fact, no one on their team outside of maybe Peter at 370-some gold is anywhere near buyback. So they're going to be going old school. Only one life per member.
My guess is this Lincoln's is for Arteezy, so he doesn't get lassoed. That's my main guess. We'll have to see if he starts applying it, but yep, obviously EG are on the ropes, and they did defend that. Actually, no, they lost in range tracks. I didn't even see that.
Yep.
Not the end of the world, but yep, there's Roshan. It is dead. Envy gets it. He has the F Dagon 5. Oh. Here we go. Yep,
engagement. Bone 7 manages to grab PPD. We see immediately Arteezy uses the ulti. Yule's on the AUI. Here comes Faitha. There's the ulti from PPD, but Pylai Die there to help finish him off. And Universe can do nothing but try to kite out the BKBs. There's the immediate split out of the brew. Zai is right there as well. Fear has to leap to the high ground. And they only got PPD out of all that, which is not that bad of a trade because he did get his ult off anyway. Bone 7, very low health, had to retreat to the high ground. Problem is, no refresher on the Death Prophet means this is going to be her last ult, and they could just push into nothing but Ravage if they feel like it and still be at the advantage. Faitha doesn't have his ulti either. We actually see Universe is way out here. He's going to try to flank. There's a chance to maybe get 3 here if he comes back around, but it's just Fear that's there near him. The Lincolns is popped, and Nightmare to follow. Ice Path, ooh, Force Staff got him uphill just in time. AUI throws out the macro fire. Behind that, there's a Ravage that got Pylai Die. Faitha was off the board. Eternal Envy comes back in to try to finish things off. EG standing their ground at top of their steps. Faitha right-clicked down to near death. Now Envy caught from behind with the shackles. Beautiful 4-man Ice Path out of AUI as they clumped, trying to secure that kill. and now they're ready to just reset and go it again in a few minutes.
Yep, but Fata's now, I mean, we talked a lot about Tinker, but Fata's getting so many items now, too. Shiva's BKB Assault Crest. I haven't really been looking at his item progression, but my god, he's almost maxed. This is insane. If he gets like a refresher, too, oof, that'd be so, so good.
He's right on par with Tinker in terms of farm. And given it was, what, 8.5-minute bots or something ridiculous on Envy?
Yeah, not to mention Tinker farms way faster, so the fact that he's pretty much keeping up neck and neck is pretty impressive, too.
Bad Rider, very close to the top as well. Arteezy actually less farmed than the Bad right now. The supports may be a little bit better farmed than those of C9, but there's the Macro Pyre. Ice Path, Universe in some trouble. Doesn't have Ravage. Even if he wants it, he's going to be Lincoln. Now Zai uses BKB and traps Fata in. He's going to be force-staffed out, but behind that we see PPD bursted down by Eternal Envy. There's a two-man Ice Path. Zai actually not caught in it as the Magic community still persisted. The ulti from Arteezy might be enough to ward them away. Tinker going to be caught and Yules. There's the split fresh off cooldown, and looks like Arteezy will be cleaned up because of it. Fear actually leapt, tried to get to the high ground and trapped himself. He's caught on the high little knoll there. Universe now pursued by the Panda as well as AUI. And he'll be Yules back. Well, not Yules, but Storm aspected up into the air. Zai comes out, hexes Envy. Don't know how much that's going to do. Very quick blink from Universe, but Fata finishes with a double kill. Universe hit with an Ice Path as he's continuing to be pursued. And Envy might be able to get close enough to blow him up. Nope, not quite close enough yet. There's another buyback, this time out of Arteezy. That buyback had to have just become available. And because of that, EG continues to hold their ground. Still losing heroes, but not losing any more buildings.
Yeah, but they're not gaining anything either. They're not gaining anything at all. Like, no item progression now for Arteezy. Still never going to have a BKB. They're just trying to stop the bleeding, essentially, in these fights. And they're actually playing, considering how far down they are, they're actually playing these fights very, very well. It's just, imagine if they started doing this before C9 had this humongous lead, you know? Just small little things, like getting caught trying to defend a tower when the tower's clearly dead after someone already died. You know, things like that. It really stacks up and gives Tinker the amount of farm that he has, and he's still got another 3,800 gold on top of him. So I don't know, maybe a Bloodstone, I suppose, something to give him a bigger mana pool. He is lacking some mana in these team fights, especially with level 3 rearm now.
Once again, Cloud9 ready to sprint down mid lane. As you said, the item progression of EG all but arrested at this point. And not a whole lot that looks like is going to change about that. Continuing to try to hold what semblance of a base they have together. Look at the warding out of EG. Just totally prioritizing this one stretch of land and saying, if we're going to take a win or catch anyone, it's going to be here. Tinker is bailed out. He's going to farm out top lane. And now, this might be the word to go. Zai's going to jump on AUI, got the Hex, and now the Shackles is a Ravage. It catches just Bone 7. And here comes Arteezy. So they waited it out. And as soon as they saw Envy was nowhere near, they capitalized and bring down 2 heroes. So Envy might... Yeah, they're going to catch Pylite Eye as well. And yeah, 3 heroes down. And they're staying grouped and clumped, and there's no way they can re-engage. And this is C9 giving up a ton of ground. Envy, very greedy and wanting to go push in that top lane, open the door, and EG gladly walked through it.
Yeah, it was a smart play. They went on the THD, and then Universe went on everybody else on the right side. It was good communication. They kept the THD down. He didn't cast anything. They timed the Sacred Arrow with the Shackles properly, and then able to get 3 kills. And there's a pipe for Tide. So EG is actually still magic. It's so funny because I'm looking at the net worth, and it's just so crazy how far behind they are. But they're still winning these fights. It's insane.
Honestly, that's just good decision making and punishing Tinker leaving. Like, that's all that was. Also, shout outs to good warding. Those wards actually just dropped as well. They had one, let's say it was like right here or right here. But anyway, just good vision and recognizing an opportunity, and they capitalize, and the game rolls on. Let's talk realistically here. I mean, Mirana slowly has gotten her farm. She's still lacking in damage. What do you think she's going to need to contribute a valuable amount of right click?
Well, I still think Mjolnir is probably the best. Manta is also really good to get away from just certain stuns and spells and just disorient the other team. But that's a really expensive item, and you also need to save for buyback. So I assume we won't see another item from Mirana until she's got like 5k gold. But my guess is instinctively it's just going to be the Mjolnir.
Smoke from C9, 5 running up the gut and going to try to catch a straggler.
BKB on Envy as well.
Oh, Fear in trouble. Lincoln's popped. Oh, he manages to get away before the lasso. PPD gets off the ulti before he's blown up. There's the ulti immediately out of RTZ. Faith has been hexed. Zai there to follow up with the shackles. Bone 7 trying to turn around and make something happen, but Zai might die through this. No, does manage to make it away. Envy exhausts his mana pool. A lot spent on both sides, but no one down on either side. And it just feels like C9 is just smashing their head against the wall. They just can't get through.
Yeah, they're not getting a clean Batrider ulti on anybody. They're like they tried to go onto Fear, but he's got the Lincolns, and this is one of those things where it's like, why get Lincolns when they can just pop it and then ult you anyway? Because it's those little like 0.5 second maneuvers that give you enough time for good players to react fast enough, and that's what happened. He popped the Lincolns with, I'm guessing, like 4 staff, or what else does Bat have? It must have been 4 staff, and then he couldn't get the lasso in time because that 0.5 seconds gave Fear enough time to blink away, or leap away, I should say. There's the wall of wards, and boy, it's a wall.
Yep. Tougher to push into than you would think. Reliably, anyway, because you just don't want to be a sitting target at the bottom. Yep. Force Staff gets him back. BKB up on Bone 7. Thought they were going to engage. Fata with a BKB of his own. Does not deploy it yet. And EG with that wall of wards, that's exactly what I was saying was, yes, they dropped to just a couple of right clicks, but whenever you have to sit in this area right here and just right click away, you're a sitting duck for initiation, and they caught him with an arrow, and that's going to once again buy EG time. Fear goes aggressive. Pilot not going to force Staff to safety, and now turning around with the BKB, there's the Lincolns popped off.
Ripped the Lincolns, yeah, interesting.
Oh, he used grip?
Yeah.
I thought he enfeebled.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, interesting. I saw his arms go up in the air like he's a rapper or something, put your arms in the air. And... Nope, yep, he popped up with the Fiend script. So Cloud9 is just kind of not ready to execute these fights, and it's all coming back to me, I think, with like this Brewmaster is just being too hesitant on his ulti. Like he's not finding. It's the Brewmaster not finding an ulti. He keeps getting caught by like an arrow or something, and then they're like, "Save him, save him! We can't let him die before he casts the ulti." And then they're on the back foot, and then EG's buying more time to get some more items. And also the Batrider does not find any pickoffs. And you have to attribute that to 2 things. 1, good warding from EG. 2, the Lincolns, which has saved him like 4 times now. And the wards. The wards are really annoying for Venomancer. I talked about at the beginning. It's very good for canceling blinks.
Not gonna lie, man, this is a game that looked to be over about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And EG has bought themselves a new lease on life. As they're, like you said, they're down a tremendous amount of golden experience, but they're still managing to win these fights despite a huge, you know, you can talk about gold lead, but gold translates to items. I mean, this Brew, as you mentioned, has been fat forever. And he continues to walk around with 4K in his inventory. AUI, with all the items he's going to need on a mobility-based Jakiro. I mean, what's the solution here? Like, what's the problem, and what's the solution on both sides? Well, on each side. Like, well, you know, EG, we know what EG's doing well. They're just taking advantage of opportunities. But if you're C9, how do you finally go about cracking, given nothing you've done so far works?
Well, are you getting lag? Oh, okay, I got a lag spike in game. I think EG is just really playing well right now. It's like, wait a second, we actually have a chance to win this. Let's actually start trying. And they're playing ridiculously well in these team fights. Whereas, that Roche just respawned. If they just go right back to Roshan and kill this quickly, they'll be in a great position to actually defend even better.
Yep.
They don't want to instinctively pop the ult from RTZ if they don't have to, and I don't think they will. So, fantastic timing. They were literally smoking around to find someone, and they saw, wait, Roche just respawned. Here's a Christmas present, and I think that this is cheese, too.
And, wow.
Are you getting lag?
Looks like I'm not. Looks like some other people are, though.
Yeah, I'm DC'd right now.
It says THD DC. And hopefully we'll have him back here in just a minute. But yeah, what a fortuitous turn of events here for EG. They've managed to buy time. Now they, like you said, they were passing by. They were going on a smoke gank, and PPD just, you know, casually threw a ward in and spots Roshan, who had just respawned. Actually respawned in front of the ward. And now, I mean, even if C9 suspects this is happening, which, I mean, do you think they do?
Well, it's hard for me to tell because I can't look at the map right now. But I feel like I saw some heroes walking towards it. So maybe they do suspect it's up. But if they do get this uncontested without using RTZ's ult, then they're going to be in a fantastic position to refight these next fights. It's still difficult, man. Like, anyone getting caught out with a bat ulti brought back into an Ethblade Dagon 5, they're dead. They've been able to spread out so much with Lincoln Sphere and proper vision that it's been hard to do so. And I think Fata needs kind of be a little bit more liberal with his ulti. I think he's scared to use it, and he's afraid he's gonna maybe he's afraid his pandas will die, because at this point his pandas get just crushed by the damage from Arteezy's exorcism.
Oh, waiting to see now. 52 minutes in, and what could be a game-determining fight. Universe has his pipe done. He was sitting on nothing but Hood for the longest time. And just fight after fight after fight that they won allowed that item progression to finally slowly continue. Hell, Zai's been building towards a scepter for, has to be 20 minutes now. And PPD still sitting on basically what he had before. But everyone now prioritizing things like buyback, I do suspect. As PPD does have buyback and the brew. Actually, everyone else is short. Looks like they're waiting to confirm that lag will not be a future issue. But as you said, in-game, they are all running towards this Roche pit. Bone 7's already fire flown. Pylai Die right behind him. Flanking from the river is Feta. And there you go, you're back, so you can see for yourself. I mean, Feta has his ulting. If they're, even if EG takes this, if they're able to engage them in the pit like this, who do you think has the advantage?
Oh boy, it's hard to say, but it's gonna happen so fast. I have a feeling Bone 7's gonna rush in there. I have this really. Oh, he's close.
And there we go. Oh, he actually gets Arteezy. Pulling him all the way back. They're going to have a Fiend's Grip ready for him if they want. BKB is used, but he's going to be Yules. Here comes the rest of EG. Going to follow this up behind that. Nope, Universe looking for a chance to Ravage. They're fighting through the March of the Machines, continuing to pursue him out. Pylai Die is going to be caught from behind, and that's going to prompt the ulti from EG. And yeah, that's just a flat-out win. No other way to say it. The cheese, is the cheese still in there? Yeah, they actually left the cheese down in the pit, so someone will venture down soon enough.
Arteezy would love to take that. Would absolutely love to take that. Honestly, Universe could take it too, but Arteezy, because he doesn't have the Aegis, and the Aegis carrier on Potom is actually quite good. I can't believe this, but Ichi's slowly getting back into this game despite being down 3 racks about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, and they're still, like, I'll put it this way, after all these wins, they're still down 15k gold.
Right.
Like, this is kind of absurd.
They grab the cheese with the courier right before C9's trying to spot it out.
Oh, wow.
Grab it for themselves, so nicely played there by one of the members of EG.
They want to fight before Arteezy's ult's back up. Well, no, maybe not. I thought they were going to rush down. No, Faetop breaks off to go farm bottom, and Envy heads back top. And I'm shocked, man. Like, the play and teamwork and decision-making of EG has just allowed them to hang around and hang around and hang around. And it doesn't matter what sports you play, or if esports is your only thing, there's one rule coaches start to teach you as a kid. Never let an opponent just hang around. Knock them off quickly. If you can beat them badly, beat them badly. And C9 has allowed EG to hang around, and if they lose a couple more fights, it could be their undoing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, EG's team fight is fantastic. No doubt about it. Peter, unfortunately, still doesn't have a real item, but he does have some gold pulled up. So, honestly, I'm thinking like another 4-staff would be great for them. Like, these 4-staff, like Lincoln's plus 4-staff has been keeping people alive on the side of EG. Might look towards another kind of bigger item, but man, 4-staff has been saving lives. As Envy is looking for a kill on the Zai, he's not going to get it. Zai with the fast fingers, if he gets that BKB off, he should be fine. And he's working his way towards an Aghanims, and they'll have that in about 1,000 gold or so.
Bone 7 and Pylai Die were in some very precarious territory. And EG knows they were there. They're going to chase this out. There's just the 2 of them. Arrow shot? No way. Ooh, much closer than would have liked, but doesn't matter. Yules is there. BKB just going to TP away, so forced to use a BKB charge. Not the end of the world as he does keep himself alive, but it's getting to the point now where they have to have someone on permanent base duty, and increasingly that someone is PPD.
Yeah, he actually could have killed him if he popped Exorcism, but he was afraid if he uses that and C9 fights them, but Batrider didn't have ulti, and yeah, I don't know. I saw him use Exorcism liberally when they went for the kill on the Bane in their jungle, and it was only going to be a solo kill, so I thought he would definitely use Exorcism right there, but maybe he thought that he wouldn't kill him. I'm not sure.
Thought Envy might try to do something cutesy and go for a solo kill to the south of bottom lane for EG, but not the case. Fate's in the meantime, he's working on, he's got his Basher. Hell, he's not far from an Abyssal Blade, man.
On to, well, that's kind of strange. My thinking, it has to be that he's scared that when he pops the ulti that his pandas are just going to get destroyed. That has to be it because I feel like I haven't seen him ult for like 15 minutes. And because he's like, why would you build a Bat or Abyssal Blade if you're not gonna ult? Or sorry, if you are gonna ult. So he's just going for like non-ult Panda build, it seems. Which I guess can work. Yeah, which I guess can work.
Well, for now, C9 is still having to play on the back foot. Bat has gotten himself a refresher. Nice pickup there for Bone7. Increased way to lock down the nightmare that is Arteezy DP. But really, there's only so much we can say, and it's getting to a point where we just have to wait and watch. I mean, Tinker is keeping the lanes pushed in, but at some point or another, C9 has to take another run at the tier 3.
You know what I didn't even realize is Fada didn't go for a Scepter this game. That just totally blew my mind. I can't believe he didn't go for a Scepter.
Now that you mention it, yeah. I guess it's one of those things you just kind of take for granted. Like, I've been looking at his inventory all game, and yeah, you're right. Speaking of Scepter, Zai has his done now.
Makes you wonder if that would have been like a deal breaker in some of the fights where EG was able to actually defend off their racks for you know, I mean they only have one racks left in mid and then of course the top lane, but yeah, it makes you wonder if they could have closed out this game a lot faster if he had an earlier Aghanim's. Just food for thought, I guess.
Well, both teams playing this out at a very slow pace. And EG hanging out near the Roche pit. Couple of minutes on the tick-tock there. And if you're C9, I mean, what's your approach? Do you just continue to farm until you hopefully hit 6 slots on everyone faster than EG, or is there a
they need pickoffs. They just need pickoffs with Bat. Like they need to use some smokes. I'm not sure if they've got any left or whatnot, but just get pickoffs with Bat. Have Tinker ready to TP in, but EG's doing a good job of sticking his 5. And here's we see Moonlight Shadow.
Oh, hang on. Speaking of Bat, Bone7 cleaned up. And EG almost ran away from that. Fear forced Staff back to the ground. And Tinker continues to do his business up at top. The rest of the team could have just as easily been caught in all that as they tried to smoke as well. But didn't work as EG spotted out their path very quickly. Either way, C9 once again delayed, and they're just going to sit back and wait.
MKB for Fear. Wow, he is starting to hit like a truck now. Close to 300 damage per auto attack, with the Mjolnir procs, with the Lincolns. He's hard to catch down. I think EG's gonna. I think they're bouncing back, and I think they could very well take this at the rate that they're playing. Arrow almost hits it. Does or sorry,
it got Envy. Fear coming in. Universe is there as well. Envy has no mana. He can't rearm. He BKBs, but he can't do anything. Like he has just enough mana now for his abilities. They don't know. They didn't check his mana pool. If they had checked his mana pool, they would know and checked his inventory. But yeah, the arrow hit him while he was TPing, so he couldn't rearm. And they just assumed that he somehow managed to make it away. Now he's going to rearm, and now he'll TP away. And very fortuitous turn of events. That arrow could have cost C9 dearly.
Yep, he does have buyback. He actually has a lot of gold, but oh, that was such a nice arrow, too, from Fear. I wonder what Envy's going to buy here, too. He has 5,700 gold. He has his BKB. I would assume he needs a Hex. Like, why would you not want to get Hex at this stage of the game on Tinker? But he also needs a safer buyback.
Well, everyone just farmed as hell, basically. You've got 3 heroes that are over 20k net worth. One at 26, one at 28, and that's pretty obvious who that's going to be. Like you said, 6,100, like rebuy BKB or what? I mean,
well, he just bought it.
Oh, he did? He literally just did?
Well, I mean, he has 8 seconds left on his next station,
okay.
So, yeah.
Up, hang on. Bone7 went for it, but missed. Caught Arteezy a little overextended there in mid.
Arrow on Bone7. It connects yet again from Fear.
Are they going to come in?
Keep your protection, though, from Envy.
Yep. Beta there to lay the pain train as well. Coming up on an hour now, a match that looked like it had reached its crescendo nearly 30 minutes ago when Cloud9 was just steamrolling EG. But the boys in blue able to get their act together, and they have extended this game sufficiently, like you said. At this point, Fear is hitting hard. Buybacks have become a big factor. He will not have buyback yet. He needs about another 1,000 gold to guarantee that he'll have buyback, maybe a little bit more just to be safe. Universe does, however, have a buyback. Universe is lacking a refresher, at least for now, though. Refresher is something he's going to want very soon as we head deeper and deeper into this game.
And Peter finally has an item. Yay!
Yay!
60 minutes, the hour mark. He's got a scepter. No buyback, though, so he has to be careful. But good thing about his scepter is that, yeah, there are BKBs on C9, but other than Tinker, all these BKBs are extremely low duration. Fata's is 5 seconds. Black King Bar onto the Bane is only 4 seconds. And on the Bat, it's 4 seconds as well. So very low duration on this Magic immunity.
No one near Bone 7 as EG's all tucked up within the base. He was using Firefly. Roche is going to be back up in about a minute, I guess. Give or take. Yeah, a minute and a half. And looks like C9 wants to fight before that. They keep splitting Tinker off, and it's understandable. You want to keep the lanes pushed as much as you can, but this has gotten them into trouble. At some point, they're just going to need to keep Tinker in their back pocket and just wait for EG to either get impatient or wait for them to step too far out. They may just want to wait out this Roshan. I actually feel like that's kind of chancy at this stage, though.
Who, C9?
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, they do have lanes pushing from Tinker. But, again, even though they're so really farmed, they don't take Roche that quickly. I guess Fata does hit like a truck if he crits, though. Which he crits a lot. It's 25% crit chance, so. But yeah, the name of the game for them has been, it should have been this game, just constant pickoffs from Bone 7 with the Bat, which is generally a hero that's very good at ganking and good in easy to get picks from, but just haven't seen it that all often, to be honest, this game.
Roche back up in about 30 seconds now. Universe split out wide. The rest of the team concentrated in mid. And they've even got the courier there to spot it. Arrow was shot. They see that it has not respawned, but they know that's what they're waiting on now. And Roche up in about 10 seconds now, if even that. If you're EG, what's your optimum mode of engagement?
Probably a smoke around from the trees from the right side, is my guess. I'm curious to see how fast this Roshan dies. Yeah, it's dying pretty quickly. These crits are really good.
It's going quick.
Fata.
I don't know if it's quick enough. EG converging on the point now. Up there's an arrow. Arrow, oh, it missed south. It didn't hit anyone. That would have helped a lot. There's actually going to be a lasso on the Universe. Can they bring him down? Moonlight Shadow deployed. He makes it back, and the C9 actually backs off, but we're going to hear a lot of damage done behind that as Tinker just blows one off the map. That's PPD. Behind that, yes, a Ravage finally comes, but it's nothing but BKB targets. Veta gets off the split. There go the wards, and the wards actually foul things up a bit. Zai makes it to the high ground. Right now, it's just the RTZ show as he's mech'd up and able to survive and allow his ultimate to do the damage he needs. Bone 7 used the refresher as well, and now a pause from Bane. And wow, Jakiro apparently.
I crashed as well.
Wow, you crashed?
Yeah. Yep, I just lagged out or crashed for me. So yeah, that's been happening a lot to a lot of people. Did that happen to him as well?
Yeah, that happened to the THD as well.
Hmm. Well, I did see, unfortunately, that the refresher on Batrider apparently, he was able to first go on the Universe, which didn't do anything. Didn't even do damage to him, didn't bring him to his team at all. But the second one killed Fear, and Fear has no buyback. So approaching the outer parts of this fight could be bad because Fear is down for 80 seconds. And then let me just double check that. I don't think he has, yeah, he needs 140 gold.
Looks like we're about to resume. And the action's still underway. Bone 7 hanging around the periphery. He's going to turn around. He will be Gusto. Envy has to leave. Doesn't have enough mana to re-engage. Yule's onto the Death Prophet, and EG lost 2, but sent C9 packing. However, that could change. Envy manning up at this point, and looks like he might be ready to come back in. AUI trying to find a target, and they know they have the up. Feta comes to clean up the wards. A lot of free gold there. And Envy, with all of his mana back, is going to be ready to go on back in. This Roshan and this Age is a very big deal. And can't call it anything but a win for C9 there. I mean, the Ravage caught nothing but BKB targets.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I was looking at the lasso onto Fear, and it looks like I'm guessing like an Aegis for the Bat. Yep. Cheese for Owie is my guess. Can't really see because that Courier's in the way. Yep, cheese for Owie. Power treads on the Courier. Whose power treads are those? Someone's.
Not on the Courier.
Oh, nope, someone took him back. Okay. Anyway, fantastic position now C9 is in. And Ravage is still on cooldown for a long time. 60 seconds feels like an eternity at this stage of the game.
Bone 7 looking to come in, was looking for the lasso. The glyph deployed, but immediately the Rax drops as soon as it expires. Moonlight Shadow will be used, and looks like C9 not going to press too hard. That's 2 full racks down, and they're ready to go reset, push in this top lane that is going to be a monstrous amount of farm for Envy, as I assume he'll be the first one to get there. And speaking of monstrous amount of farm, he's got 4,200 gold and nothing that he can spend it on. I mean, he's fully kitted at this point.
He can buy something to replace his BKB after he uses it. So like he goes into a fight, he BKBs, and then he comes back, TP's back, his BKB's on cooldown, and switches it out for like a sheep or something. That's about it.
EG getting desperate. This is a 4-man push down mid. Split out wide is Universe. Universe has Ravage in 5 seconds. He'll want to hook back up with the team.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
And in the meantime, a tower denied by the Brewmaster, not wanting to give up anything to EG. They're going to move down and just try to clear this tier 2. And we'll see if C9 wants to fight or if they just want to go straight for the throne. As EG is very spread out at the moment. And it's, you know, EG held on admirably, but that last fight might be what finally breaks their back. They do get a refresher up on the tide now. Buybacks, an option for only Fear and Arteezy. 3 from C9 on the other hand, including the Tinker, do have buyback. They're going to go ahead and loop and try to catch.
Zai. Zai's in trouble. Whoop. He blinks into the team of Cloud9.
Yep, BKB up, not enough. That's going to be a gem on the ground as well. And here comes Universe. Yeah, he's just going to go for it. Gets the Ravage off, and the Yules to follow. C9, though, re-engaging, trying to with the lasso. 2 Ravages are there. Arteezy on the low ground, doing what damage he can. Universe, in the meantime, cover the Fiend's Grip. There's the pipe. It's broken off. Feta does have split. And just going toe-to-toe, PPD using the ulti on the back of that. AUI 2000 throws out an ice path. They're split up across 2 different paths. Envy was doing work on the other side towards the secret shop. There's an arrow that'll be shot wide. Universe comes in, anchor smash, avoided by Bone 7's blink. Ice path will slow things down, but not entirely. And we actually still have one left behind. That's Feta. He's silenced and does not have his split. He will be nightmared. And is that enough? He gets a split. Yes, he gets it off. Now Bone 7 grabbing Arteezy. There's the refresher as well. No ulti from Arteezy, but it's the damage there. Tinker, in the meantime, is cleaning up Fear behind the fight on the high ground as Arrest is kited out below. Arteezy has been masterfully kited this entire time. Bane right behind him. Here comes Envy, and he will clean that up with one last Dagon. And that's your GG.
Yep.
So EG made a game of it when it looked like it was done. But no matter how long it took, 67 minutes, more than double the time for this game than games 2 and 3 combined. All the same, though, it's a win, and all the same, Cloud9 going to the grand finals of our $15,000 Game24 Invitational, brought to you by NVIDIA. What a game, man. EG looked like they were coming apart at the seams earlier on, but managed to get things back together and bring it down to the wire.
Yep, it was so darn close, and even though Bone 7 had a terrible early game, these refresher Batrider lassos were actually playing a huge role in the latter stages of this game. And if EG played the way they did this last half in this game, the first half, it would have been completely, I think, an EG win. But they were really sloppy in the first half, giving up kills, unnecessary deaths, like past towers that were already dead, for example. But then they really buckled down, but it just was too late. Too much farm on all the heroes of Cloud9 to really even come back. So, well played from Cloud9. And they get some revenge after we see the same lineup of teams from WEC, where EG was actually the victors in that sense. But this time it's Cloud9.
Cloud9, again, game 1, EG just kind of rolled them. Games 2 and 3, Cloud9 just destroyed them in return, and now a fantastic hour-long series, or series-capping Game 4, that will again propel Cloud9 into the grand finals. Thanks so much for being a part of the stream, guys. I'm AC. That voice on the other end, his name is Trouf. Look into him, watch him stream, and keep up with his pro career, as I'm sure he'll be on a pro team before too terribly long, if not at least filling in for some of the best in the business. It's at Trouf Dota for him. I'm at AC, at AYESEE. Again, you're tuned in to the Game24 Invitational, Dota 2 Invitational, brought to you by NVIDIA. The entire Game24 stream marathon, I guess, 24-hour marathon. A stream, a celebration of all that PC gaming is to each and every one of us. Happy to have Dota 2 as a part of that, and happy to have you guys as a part of the tournament. More Dota will be coming up, but in the meantime, make sure you check out all else is going on. There are live events going on across the world right now that are being organized and facilitated by NVIDIA and other folks involved in Game24, and of course, just tons of other cool streamers, tons of other great guys and great personalities all throughout the world that are contributing to this celebration of what it is that we love so much in our hobby and in our lifestyle. Anyway, one more time, this is AC and Trout. We'll be back with more Dota. Just stick with us.